All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am your host, J.C. Stevenson. I write stories, I play games, and today I'm finishing the story of my Japan. Hello, welcome, everybody. Effecto, Jan. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How do I tell someone who has helped me before and from whom I still depend on, but now treats me like a mope? Oop, to treat me as a person. Hello, Mr. Hello. Define mope. And what is your relationship with this person? Are they a friend? Are they family? Good advice comes with a lot of questions. Also, by the way, DVR is off. I'm gonna try to turn it off on my streams just so that nobody ends up behind anymore. I kind of like it to have it so that people can rewind and check stuff, but I like every stream I have somebody who's like, oh man, I was behind by 5 minutes. That shouldn't be able to happen now. Anyway. Death. Welcome in, Death. Welcome, welcome. Do you more rested today? I am. I feel better. I feel more rested now than I have the last couple of days. Not yesterday. Yesterday I took a massive nap before I streamed. But today I did not. So I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back on, like, falling asleep at like 11, 12 at night and then sleeping until morning. Whereas like the last couple of days I've been falling asleep at like 10 and then waking up at like 2 in the morning and then being up till like 5 and then falling asleep. So, thing you clean floor, a mop. Okay, they're treating it like a mop. M-O-P, 1-O. And no, the guy's classmate has helped me pay for materials when I started studying. I still kind of depend on him letting me borrow them because no money. Okay. So here's the thing. Last you rested, you were really easy last stream. I'm still tired, but I'm doing it. So here's the thing. If you are dependent on somebody for something, it is very difficult for you to put up boundaries. So if the guy has money and you need his money, it's difficult for you to say, hey, you're not allowed to treat me this way, because then he'll just say, okay, fine, I'm not going to give you the money. Right. The best thing you can do for yourself, Effecto, is to work on being independent. So find a way to get to the point where you don't need this guy's money, and then just tell them to go to hell. Because the truth is that you don't want people who will take advantage of you. If somebody has power over you and they abuse that, they're not a good person. Right? Being independent. Effective is now going to be exact. Right? So let's say that let's say that I become a famous streamer. Right? Let's just say it happens. Right? And I reach out to people and I say, hey, I'd like to collaborate, but I'm a larger streamer than them. So they come in and they get way more views streaming with me than they do streaming with them. At this point in time, I am helping them, right? If I then begin to treat them like crap, or I then, try to say, well, hey, I'm I'm doing this favor for you. You need to either pay me or maybe you need to do some sort of favors for me, right? Maybe send me some saucy pictures or something. That's bad, right? That's not me being helpful. That's me being manipulative. So if this person is lending you money and then treating you poorly, what they're doing is they're not trying to be helpful to you. They're trying to have power over you. And the best thing for you to do, that's illegal. You're not wrong, but like, that's just the closest situation I can describe. Right. That's just the closest thing I can describe that I can think of. Now, I wouldn't do that because that's kind of a D-bag thing to do. And as Death pointed out, it's illegal. But if what is going on is this guy is treating you well and then making it so that you rely on them and then using that reliance to either put you down or to treat you poorly or to try to manipulate you or to try to get something out of you, that's not a person you want to rely on. So the best advice I can give you is I thought they were being kind because it was a gift. They didn't give me money, but they did gift me the materials I needed. But now I keep wondering what I did to make him so mad at me all the time. Okay. That is... Okay, so here's the thing. This is what you can do. You can send this guy a message and you can say, hey, listen, I really appreciate you helping me out, but I feel like I'm being disrespected. Right. No, this is actually like a really good topic to give advice on. You can send him a message saying, hey, listen, I feel like our relationship, our friendship, whatever it is, has come to a point where I don't feel like I'm being respected. Right. If I've done something, if I've made you angry, if I've done something to make you upset, I'd have you tell me what that is. And then we can talk about it and we can try to work on it. But I really feel as if you've been somewhat disrespectful of me. And then I would list the ways in which you feel as if this guy has been disrespectful. And I don't like being treated that way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Prepare yourself for it to not work, because as many times as I've done things like that, it has worked and it has solved problems and it has failed. I had friends not that long ago that I literally went to them and said, hey, listen, I feel like I'm not being respected. Have I done something? They said no. And we talked about it. They said they would do better, and then they didn't do better. So like I've literally had this situation crop up, and communication hasn't resolved. So the first step is to express that you are upset. Ask if my mother used to tell me, look to thine own ass first, which meant if you're in a situation you don't like, you look at what you've done to put yourself there, right? So ask if there's something that you have done to upset them. And if there has, then communicate about it and talk about it. And if there isn't, then ask why they're treating you in a manner that makes you feel disrespected. And if they don't have an explanation, say, well, I don't want you to treat me that way anymore, or we can't be friends. We can't hang out. We can't have a relationship. And then if they don't make changes, then you leave the relationship. That's just how it works. and then you're not going to be able to rely on. But you don't want to be able to rely on somebody who treats you poorly. Melly, welcome in. Alternatively, tell them they smell of mothballs and expired embers. Therefore, the door is that way. I mean, hi, Jay. Hi, Sammy. Dino Child, welcome in. Hi. Your mother is a hamster and your father smells of the bed. The feeling of owing people is awful, but yeah, I hope I can solve this peacefully. One of the things that I have learned the hard way is you keep the peace by having boundaries, right? A lot of people, especially if you're not a fan of confrontation, which I am not, if you don't like confrontation, you think, hey, listen, I won't make a fuss. I'll just keep the peace. I'll just let it go. But that doesn't actually keep the peace. It just keeps you being mistreated and them being oblivious to mistreating you. You actually get more peace by confronting them, and either they go, oh, I shouldn't do that, and then they stop, and then you both have peace. Or you confront them and they say, well, no, this is how I'm going to be. And then you say, okay, fine, you can be that way. I'm not going to be in your life. I'm going to leave. And then they have peace because they can act the way they want. And you have peace because you're not being disrespected. Jay giving out life advice. I mean, I'm old. I'd hope I'd know something about life by now. So yeah, Effecto, communicate. I encourage you to be gentle. I encourage you to be patient. I encourage you to be understanding. Do not prescribe malice in place of ignorance, right? Always assume that people are coming from a place of ignorance as opposed to malice. You're 24? I'm far older than 24, Sammy. You're not that old, man. You're still young and full of life. Tell that to my niece. Is actually ignorant. Sammy knows stuff. Age is just a number. Tell that to the police. I am certified uncle. Thanks a lot. Listen, I'm happy to give advice. Age is just a number. Tell that to my niece. Back. I'm happy to offer advice. I think that it's much more productive to have a conversation like that than it is to just like complain about something and never try to find a solution. So I always encourage people to find solutions. So if I can help, if I can offer a solution and you're looking for advice, I will try to help. Age is just a number. Tell that to the bottle of ibuprofen I carry with me like a good luck charm. I had to buy ibuprofen in Japan. I have half a case of Japanese ibuprofen on my desk. That was actually the food I ate the most in Japan. I think I probably ate like 20 of them. Japanese ibuprofen. That's me, but I'm only 25. Okay, you got me there. I'm younger than you, but my knees and back feel like they've already lived through a century. It's not the years, it's the mileage, as they say. Okay, we came to see rocks and food I cast. There's no sadness. I'm not sad, Effecto. I'm glad you came and talked about it. Again, I encourage people to seek out solutions. You came to me asking for advice. You came seeking a solution. I've given you one. That's good. I'll do my best not... No, you'll derail chat, Sammy. I know you will. Okay, welcome in, everybody. We ended last stream with Keninji Temple, the ending of Keninji Temple. I was sad, but I feel a little better. It always makes you feel better when you have a path forward, when you have a solution. Always. By the way, Siren, welcome in. Am I allowed to join the Pokemon Champions game on Saturday? Am I allowed to play that? Am I welcome? Hope everything will be better for you soon, Effecto. It'll get better. it works out in me. As a person who is pushing 40, I can tell you that life finds a way of work. Even if it hurts, even if you're sad, even if you struggle, life finds a way. You'll be all right. Oh, I was hoping the frying pan would fly in from the left. Why are you bonking me? Help. Mask is streaming, Dino. Go throw pans at him. In point of fact, go to his house and throw a pan at him in real life. Best. Turns out Siren doesn't want me in her Pokemon Champion stream. You have to throw pianos at me? You have to. It's totally not my fault for giving you the ability to throw pianos at me. It's your fault for giving in to them the temptation of it. I encourage you all to resist temptation. That's better. All right. So we were, I mean, yeah, I did make you Sonic. It's true. It's true. I'll ask Siren on Discord. I'm sure she'll say yes, but I don't know if she wants to spend more time with her community. We have a thing coming up. All right. Does anybody else need? Oh, I asked if I could join the Pokemon Champions thing on Saturday. If I was allowed. If I'm not allowed, I won't join. I totally didn't download the game and get a bunch of Pokemon already in hopes that I was allowed. I have a Switch too. You has Switch? Yeah, I have a Switch. I have a Switch too. Fight me, Jay, please. All right, you're on. You're on. All right, I'll be there on Saturday. I totally didn't download the game and get a team that is mildly not sucky. But I will at least fight Siren once or twice on Saturday. Also, by the way, I learned today, international shipping is very expensive. So just something to keep in mind. You need to ship things internationally. Cheap. Not cheap at all. Don't be sorry. It was more expensive than I thought it would be, but it was fine. Honestly, it wouldn't matter, Siren, because I bought stuff for Siren and Butter, both of whom live in Canada. And I bought like 2 small things for Butter. He wanted dice, so I found him a set of dice. I found him a set of wooden dice that was made in Japan, and then I found a set of D6s that were yellow, and I couldn't not buy him little yellow blocks for a block of Butter. I couldn't not do that. So I sent him like a little like 8x4-inch package, and it cost it cost basically the same amount as it did to send Siren a big box, because I ended up buying her like an anime figure which she had to have. I saw it, she had to have it. Which she'll find out in like a week, but it cost the same. Right, so the little like envelope package that was like 7 ounces cost the same as the like 2-pound box. It makes no sense. I don't understand it. So yeah, it wouldn't have mattered whether I bought you 1 thing or like 2 things, Siren, or like 5 things, Siren. Cost the same. Just ignore the cost, because they put a sticker on it that had the shipping cost, and I don't want you to worry about it. So the background music is a little. So yeah, don't worry about it. Enjoy what I got you. So I got a couple of things for people. I sent stuff off to folks. All right. So Okay, are we done with the food talk from last stream? Do you want to see food pictures quick, Sammy? I have more food. So I have more food to show you. I have less pictures now than I did yesterday.
I don't believe you.
Why don't you believe me? What have I done to make you doubt me? I want to know a few things. Most interesting food you ate, best thing you ate, something you won't try a second time. Everything? Weird. Welcome in. Okay. You guys want me to skip ahead? I'll skip ahead a little bit. The best thing I ate. We'll skip ahead. We'll jump around. Posture check, stretch, hydrate. All right, I'll do so. Okay, so this was one of the last meals I had. This was probably the most interesting. This was at Otoya, which is a Japanese family-style restaurant. Most interesting. This was at Otoya. 2 O's at the start. So it's not stir fry. It is there's potatoes, onions, lotus root, green beans, and carrots. And it is in a vinegar sauce. And then it was rice, which I ordered with like barley in it. This was miso soup, which I ordered with vegetables. This was the best miso soup I had. This is also deep fried chicken. Pan fried, probably. The chicken was deep fried, and then the vegetables were probably pan fried or stir fried or whatever. Then it was just a lettuce salad. This was dressing for the salad. This was one of the last things I ate in Japan. I was going to show this to you later. This was miso soup. I ordered it with extra vegetables in it. This was the best miso soup I had. It still wasn't very good. I'm not a miso soup guy. But this was a very interesting meal. What made it interesting? A couple of things. The first is the miso soup was actually like palatable to me. I've never had lotus root before. I also want to point out, if you look at the shape they cut the carrots in, they're like little pyramids. These were impossible to pick up with chopsticks. I don't know what sort of sadist cut the carrots and the potatoes into this shape that made it literally impossible to pick up with chopsticks. But they did it. So that was interesting. But the sauce was very interesting because it was like a black vinegar sauce, and they put some like sugar and stuff in it. It was a very interesting taste, something I hadn't really tasted before. It was good. I'd eat it again, but I don't know that I'd want to eat it very often. Oh, and then it was pickled ginger for like a palate. The dressing on the salad was good. This is a pretty solid meal. You don't like miso soup, or you're just not a soupy guy in general. They probably do. They probably cut it in that way, like, oh, we have a stupid foreigner in. I don't mind soup. I am not a big soup guy, but my problem with miso soup is it tastes like booze. Like it tastes alcoholic to me. It tastes like somebody poured like half a shot of vodka in it, and I don't enjoy it. OJ, I ran your last VOD through my AI to see if it could summarize it. Was it work? It said you didn't like Dongo, curry from Arashiyama, and miso soup from Tokyo, and apparently taste alcoholic. Mind check running the AI locally, so I'm curious. So those, yeah, I did talk about those two things. I do not care for Dongo. I did have curry from Arashiyama, which I can show you quick. Hold on. That was I did talk about that last stream. Where was that? This is my curry from Arashiyama. It was good. And miso soup, I just mentioned miso soup tasting alcoholic. So yeah. Yeah, that checks out. Tofu and miso paste are fermented products, and alcohol is fermented and are distilled. Yeah, I had miso soup about like 4 times. I never really cared for it, but this last meal, that I showed you from Otoya, that was the best miso soup I had. This was the best miso soup I had. I didn't take the cover off, but there was a lot of veggies in it. It was like palatable. Oh, and then I ordered coffee jelly for dessert, which the custard was great, but the jelly is so bitter, or the coffee is so bitter. It's so bitter. I don't understand why they make it so bitter. It's weird. I've never had that with miso before, but I also don't drink, so I don't know if that's true. Just like you, exactly. The custard was good, but the sauce was way too bitter. What else did you ask? Best thing you ate and something you wouldn't have a second time. Okay, so we're gonna do. Nice. It kept saying I can't see videos you linked and providing it info. So okay, it didn't make those up. So we'll do the thing I wouldn't try again, which I talked about last stream. This is anago, conger eel. That's also miso soup. That was not. I mean, I drank it, but it wasn't. I did not enjoy this. I did not enjoy this at all. As far as there was nothing within this meal. So this is, I think, saltwater eel. I didn't get unagi, which I should have had, but I didn't. This is anago. This is the other one. This one's less common to find. There was nothing on this plate that I would want to eat again. This roast beef was just roast beef with like ketchup on it, but it was cold. Didn't care for that. The salad was a salad. This was a very weird sort of like 3-bean salad thing. It was fine, but I didn't care for it. I'm not a big like pickled guy, but I mean this was fine. And this just didn't. The sauce, the eel was like mushy and fishy tasting. The sauce was like kind of like a teriyaki sauce, and I don't really care for teriyaki. And then they put way too much on the rice, so the rice just tasted like the sauce, and it wasn't for me. I did not enjoy this. Glad I tried it, but I would not eat this again. The best thing I had was the Yoshinoya beef bowl. Well, the best meal I had was this was like, so this was, you went there and you ordered the beef gyudon. This was the special bowl with a load of green onions and this meat sauce stuff. And then you could pick the bowl size. I ordered large and a regular portion of rice, and then I ordered a soft-boiled egg on the side. And then I ate pretty much all of this, and then I mixed the egg in with whatever was left over. That's a lot of green onions. I thought so too the first time I ordered it. It was delicious. I had this 3 times. It was that good. I had that 3 meals. Not in a row, but I had that 3 meals. And what's better is this totaled to like 1,053 yen, which ends up being like $6.50. So not bad for a whole meal. This was the best thing I ate. Because I could have ate this every day. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, as far as like interesting and new and fun goes, the okonomiyaki was like way more flavorful. Where do I have that? I showed it last. I know I showed it. Chaotic, welcome in. This is okonomiyaki. This was probably the most interesting and delicious thing I ate, but I wouldn't want to eat this every meal. Butter, you got something in the mail, man. Gonna be seven days, Butter. Welcome in, Butter. How's it going, man? We love cabbage. This was delicious. I'm excited. I'm chilling. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I got you dice. And I got you the only set of dice I could find at the store that was made in Japan. So one of the sets was made in Japan, but you can read it. I sent everybody a letter to kind of describing what you got. This was delicious. I wouldn't want to eat this. I'm gonna roll it so many times. I'm gonna have to do a lot of rolling because I got you more than one dice. What style? I don't know which this was. I had it in Kyoto, so I don't know if it was Osaka or Hiroshima style, but it was delicious. Given like the way it looked, it was probably the Osaka style. But it was really good. But I wouldn't want to eat this every night. The Yoshinoya beef bowl, I could eat every night. How's it going, Butterman? How's it going? Also, if you want to talk about desserts, we're not there yet, but I'll skip ahead. This was St. Nicholas in Kanazawa. This is the best dessert. My sister's a chef. I ordered these two desserts and I ordered a pot of tea, and it totaled like $15. And I thought, that's ridiculous. So I texted my sister, who's a chef, and I said, hey, sister, how much should I have paid for these? And she looks at them and goes, oh my God, those are beautiful. I would have paid like $30 or $40 for that. I'm like, oh, well, I paid 15. She's like, you got a deal. And by the way, they were delicious. These are really good. And these are very good. Highly, if you are in Kanazawa, highly recommend St. Nicholas, but I don't recommend going to Kanazawa, but we'll get there. I'm skipping ahead for food for Sammy. Okay, but we're gonna go back to Kanazawa. We're gonna go back on the main trip. Rip Kanazawa. I'll talk about why you shouldn't go to Kanazawa, but I'll chit chat about it. Oh, I'll show you one other thing from Kanazawa quick. I bought my sister's pottery from Kanazawa. And this is a sake cup. I got one of my sisters. This is handmade, hand painted. The gold is gold leaf. I got her 2 sake cups, and I got her a sake pot. This is back at home. I'll be popping in and out. Streaming been busy today, and I still have a few things to do before the end of the night. Well, get them done. Get into real chat. How dare you? I will tell you. My other sister, I bought a set of 5 cups for, but I don't have pictures of that. So, how much was the set? So this was 17,000 yen. So just over $100. I spent about $250 on both sets of pottery. So it was about $125 a pop for each one. but again, handmade, hand painted. I will tell you where it is, because if you're in Kanazawa, I recommend the place. We'll talk about it, but the work they had was beautiful. Because there was a whole adventure in getting this stuff. So this is to whet your appetite, right? Kanazawa. This is on my way. Damn, Jay Ballin looks stunning, though. Listen, I'm a buy once, cry once kind of person. I would rather spend... My appetite has been whetted. It's moistened. Good. Butter's moist up in here. I would rather buy something that is high quality and good and spend more money on it than buy something that's cheap and will not last. So we'll talk about the pottery later, but it was high, it was well worth it in my opinion, especially since, again, handmade. We'll talk. So this is from Kyoto to Kanazawa. Actually, it's from Tokyo to Kanazawa because I made a big mistake. So when I oh wait, I can't. Hold on. I made a big mistake. So when I was in Kyoto, right here, and I said, hey, I want a Shinkansen ticket to Kanazawa, which is like right here, right? I went to the machine and the machine says, pick a ticket by time frame. So I set the time frame I wanted for the next day, and the ticket it told me to buy was from Kyoto to Tokyo to Kanazawa, right? And it was like 250 bucks. I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but it doesn't give me any other options, so I'll buy that. And then when I got there, I'm like, I'm almost certain there was a cheaper option. And I looked it up, and there was a cheaper option. There was an option called the Thunderbird train, which goes from Kyoto straight to Kanazawa, and it was like $70. So if you're going to go to Kanazawa from Kyoto, take the Thunderbird Shinkansen. Make sure you get this one. Don't do what I did. Don't spend an extra $150 going all the way to Tokyo and then back up here. Do some research, because I knew this existed. I just was too dumb. This is a bullet train. You don't understand. It took me like 2 or 3 hours to go from here to there, and it would have taken me like an hour to go from there to there. This is a bullet train. It's not quite as fast as the other one, but it was still faster than going straight than going there to there. So make sure you do some looking on the machine. Don't take its word for you. It's a machine. You can find cheaper options. You could see some good views, at least I did. The problem is that my plan was to go from Kyoto to Kanazawa and then Kanazawa to Tokyo. So I went from Tokyo to Hiroshima, so I got to see this, right? And then I got to see all this twice. So it was I would have liked to have seen this by myself. Inky, Jay, I'm glad you're home and I did have a great. You're welcome in. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? How do I know the whole place is Japan when it's only labeled in the middle? That's true. This is actually the only part of Japan, and the rest of it is not. Welcome in, Inky. How is it going? Okay. So yeah, make sure you look for more than just the express trains. Make sure you look, because you can get way cheaper. But Kanazawa, I mean, their fancy maglev train goes like 600. I doubt it. I don't know if it's even open yet. I don't know if the maglev train is even open yet. I think that has a later release date. Japanese maglev line under construction between Tokyo and with plans to extension to Osaka. Yeah, I don't think it's open yet. (2022) planned opening no earlier. Tokyo to Nagoya no earlier than 2035. Oh, the test track was open in 1997. Okay, so no, it's not open. Not out. Not for public yet. Unfortunate. So yeah, gonna have to wait another 10 years for that. Sorry, man. Has videos of it being tested. I'm pretty sure the rails are mostly in place. They're just doing years. That's really smart considering how many earthquakes there are. How's it going, Inky? Have you been having a good time? But yes, Kanazawa. Pictures of the train trip from Tokyo to Kanazawa. There was snow on the mountains, which was very pretty. Very pretty. Butter, I think I twisted Siren's arm on Elden Ring. So there might be Elden Ring. There's that. This was in Kanazawa. The ring shall be Elden. It shall. It shall. So I took a bunch of pictures. Your math ain't math, and I expect my math isn't mathing. What's wrong with my math, Steve? You're gonna have to explain it. I took a few pictures and then I realized I was on my train settings. I hear butter note. So this is why this is very blurry, because I have or not blurry, very dark. 2026 currently no earlier than 2035. I said about 10 years. And then I fixed it. And I changed my settings too. Welcome in, Steven. How's it going, man? Butter knows about math. Butter, what's the difference between 2026 and 2035? Can you give us the math? Pi? It is pi. 3.14. Thank you. Wait, wrong meme. As long as you don't start waving your hands saying 6, 7. That's all I care about. So this was Kanazawa Castle. I closed the thing. Should have left that open so that I can talk about stuff. Death, I will time you. In sign language, that means balls. I believe it. So I arrived in Kanazawa later than I wanted because I took a way longer train, which ended up being all right. The train station for Kanazawa is, yes, you are 69. That's the main train station for Kanazawa is like right here. Now, here's the thing about Kanazawa. Tokyo, Hiroshima, Kyoto all had very robust train systems, right? Very easy to get pretty much everywhere you wanted to go on a train. Kanazawa did not. Everything in Kanazawa was by buses. There was only like 1 or 2 trains for the whole city. So everything was by bus. And some of the buses took Suica, but most of them didn't. So if you were at the train station, there was 2 loop buses. There was the right loop bus, which is this orange line here, right? Then there was the left loop bus, which is the green line here. And then there was the shopping bus that only ran on weekends. So getting from the main train station out into the city proper, that was easy. But getting back from the train station, that was hard because you didn't know if your bus would take Suica or not. Because while these took Suica when they were running on the loops, if they weren't running on the loops, they wouldn't take Suica. Like, there was a whole bunch of stuff explaining this. And it was a pain in the butt. This is why I don't recommend going to Kanazawa. They're trying. Like here, this sign is all in Japanese and English. A lot of the buses had Japanese and English. But once you got out of the tourist areas, it was a free for all, baby. Like, once you got out of this area, which by the way is train station to here, that's this area. Once you got out of here, you were on your own, man. Like, it was wild, wild west out there. Unless you read Japanese, you were just, it was your best guess what was going on. Right? So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking a bus from here to the city center, so around here, and then just walking around. And then when I finished, I would just walk back to my hotel, which was like right over here. Somewhere like over here. It was literally right next to the train station. So the hotel was easy enough. It was like it was like this one or something. I forget which one it was, but it was like over here. So this is why I don't recommend going to Kanazawa. This was very confusing. I am really glad I didn't go here first. Like, part of me had thought about going here first, and had I done that, I would have never left my hotel. Had I not had the experience with the train systems, I would have been just blind in Kanazawa. This is not a tourist location. Like I said, they're trying, but this is not a touristy location. That being said, some of the coolest stuff I saw was in Kanazawa, so, you know, travel at your own risk. But we'll talk about a little bit of my adventures here in a minute. But we'll close this. But this is Kanazawa Castle, which is right here. So when I arrived, I immediately jumped on a bus and went to, there's a bus station like right here. I went to this bus station. And it told me to get into the garden, I needed to go this way. So I walked over this way, and that was wrong. You ended up having to like come over here and go up some steps and go across like this bridge or something. It was something like that. So I ended up getting a little bit lost going up to the castle, but I got up to the castle. I will hydrate, Beth. I will stretch as well. But if you will remember from last time, they were closing Hiroshima Castle when I was there. And while, again, a couple of pictures, I don't know how these got taken. I think I bumped the lens. It was raining when I got here. This was about 6 p.m. So like there was like a guardhouse and a tower you could go into. They were closed when I got here. And if you note, there's a big tent here. I wonder what that's for. If you'll recall, when I went to Hiroshima Castle, they were closing it down, and I was there on the last day. So what ended up happening was I couldn't really go anywhere, but the grounds were really cool. As you can see, it was raining. You can see the raindrops in the little moat here. Bridge. Across the bridge. And this is into like the main area of the keep. And so what was going on is they had tore down the palace to rebuild it. The main palace of the castle was being torn down, and there was literally nothing in here. So my luck with castles continues. I go to Hiroshima Castle the day they're closing it, so I can't go in because the line is 2 miles long. And I go to Kanazawa Castle while it's tore down, so they're rebuilding it. I spent way more. I was standing in the rain, just giggling, like, oh my god, because it was funny to me. My dang luck with castles. Scale issue, you know it. They knew the J guy was coming. We got to tear this shit down. That's true. That's true. So yeah, it was empty. But then there was a garden attached. This is Ken Roquin Garden. So I walked across there and I got to walk around that. I would have been so mad. You just have to laugh about it. Like, it's just funny. This garden was very pretty. It was kind of annoying in the rain, but it was very pretty. Got some very lovely views. You can see the strap of my umbrella. And they had these stilts. I don't know what these were for. I don't know if like it snows up here and that'll break the trees off. But like all of these trees had like stilts on them. And I don't know why. I mean, it was really pretty. That's the perfect picture. Yeah, I would assume it's to support the trees, but you would think that the trees would be able to support themselves. Now, those are totally giant swords. It could be that, except this isn't the way Japanese swords are made. The cherry blossoms were very sparse here. It was colder up here than it was further south. But there was cherry blossoms. The trunk probably can't support the weight. I think it's more the branches. Because if you look, all of these are trained. Like, trees don't grow this way. Somebody made it grow this way. So my guess is that they don't have the proper amount. This is the trunk. These are branches. So I'm guessing that they don't have the like strength they need to support the weight of snow. So I'm guessing that's why they put supports on them. Yeah, that's a very far overhang. Yeah, there was a little bit of cherry blossoms here, but they were very much still kind of, I'm sorry it's late. You don't need to apologize. You're cool, dude. You're not, trees have trunks. So do elephants. They were very pretty, but they were not as in bloom as they were in time. Still very pretty. And gotta be honest, the rain added a little something. Like I'm not, it was chilly, but I wasn't super cold. I had a long sleeve shirt on, so it was fine. But the rain added a little something. It was very nice, very pleasant. And then I bumped my camera like 5 times leaving the garden. Artsy fartsy. Exactly. So this was along this river, I believe. Because I went to the Higashi-Chaya district, which is a tea district. And I walked along this river a little bit. Yeah. So this is into the Higashi-Chaya. This is the Higashi-Chaya district. And these are all tea houses. Let me double check and make sure. Yeah, we'll talk about food. Very touristy. However, once you got off of like this street right here, there was just nobody there. So I walked down this street and then turned into some back streets, found some really cool shrines, and then just walked the back streets of Kanazawa for like 2 hours. Literally just nobody around. It was very cool because it looked very Orbeck. Welcome in, man. Welcome. Yeah, the Backstreet Boys. That was me. I was the Backstreet. And I was back. Oh, right. How's it going, Orbeck? I walked up into this was a shrine. Every single one of these little buildings right here is a shrine or a temple. Okay. All of these are temples. And this river right here is this river. Okay. I did not visit all of these, but I did visit a few of them. This one was very cool leading up to it. I walked into this one and it was just deserted. There was somebody in the temple working, but there was nobody on the grounds. It was completely deserted, and it felt very much like I shouldn't be there, so I very quickly left and then just continued roaming the streets. Just saw some pretty architecture, and then I went to Oyama Shrine. Accessible. Yeah, it was everything was very walkable. These images, yes, these are from my trip to Japan. So then I went to Oyama Shrine, which is over here. This was a different. This is Oyama. This gate leading into it is of it's meant to mimic Dutch design. And there was a group of kids going in. These were school kids. Let's see, there was a school trip, which is kind of cool. This is a very cool little shrine. Very pretty. There's a lot of statues. There was a garden attached to it. This led from the shrine into the Kanazawa Castle Gardens, which was pretty cool. There were these really weird, cool statues. Here's a rock for you, Effecto. And there was this little like back area too on this old like rock path. Again, a couple more rocks. I have no idea what these were, but they were really cool. And then back there too was this like old busted up foundation for some building. No idea what it was for, but just a cool place to explore. Recommend it if you're in Kanazawa. This was a different shrine. I don't remember which one this was, because that's like the only picture of it I have. And then, okay, now we're going to talk about pottery. So my last day in Kanazawa, I knew I wanted to buy pottery for my sister. All these images look really nice. They do. It was a very beautiful trip. So I had walked previously and stopped at some places that sold pottery, but nothing looked handmade, and a lot of the stores I went to all had the same things, right? They all looked the same, which means they're mass produced. So one of the places that I saw was I think it was this one. This one. No. Wasn't that one? Wasn't that one? This one. This museum. Literally inside the garden. This museum had a gift shop in it that sold pottery. So I have pictures of all these altars and stuff. I'll show you in a minute. They have a gift shop that sold pottery. So I thought, okay, this museum, like this stuff downstairs, this is all for sale. You can buy this. I don't know if they'll show it, but this was the place I went to. And I thought, oh, this museum, traditional arts, they'll have handmade pottery. Have handmade pottery. But I did walk around the museum, and it was very... Well, these were probably handmade, but these were not for sale. Right? But they were very pretty. and very good. This is lacquerware. This is not pottery. From what I understand, lacquerware is harder to take care of than pottery. So I thought about buying some of this, but I didn't. Gotta make my own. I gotta make mine. So these were the altars that you saw. There was like 3 of them. My pictures got all blurry. I sent my sister, because I told my sisters I was gonna buy them pottery. So I sent them a picture of this fish, and I said, guys, I found your gift. And one of my sisters said, I only want it if it sings, whatever that song the Billy Bass guy sang. Yeah. So, yeah, there was some really cool stuff in this museum, but they didn't have, that was the one. They had 3 different examples, very pretty stuff. Or Mr. Krabs. They got him painted. Your grandpa has one? Based. Super based. This was a shrine just off of... I don't remember where this was. Okay, we'll skip that because that's too... Yeah, the dancing fish. So after I went here and I realized that I wasn't going to find anything, I Googled Kanazawa kiln. And I came up with this place. I came up with the museum, and I thought, well, I already tried that. It's not going to work. Well, there's a kiln. Right? So the kiln right here. And I was like, because I had walked here and I had checked out a couple of stores. I was like right here. And I'm like, well, it's like a 20-minute walk away. Well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to walk out. So I walked out to this kiln. As one and loved it, I missed pressing it. The fish work. Those fish work. So this is where I bought my sister's pottery. And I cannot recommend it enough. You can see this is, so these pictures are from 2022. They've had this set for a while. See you tonight, get some food. They've had this set for a while. A pole? No. But these are all different. This was not the way, I didn't get any pictures of the inside because I was talking to the guy. But this was different when I was there. And this is the other side of the showroom over here because I looked through these pictures. This is the other side. I bought this set, but they look different than this. It wasn't the same flowers, but they were sitting here. So they have changed their stock, which is a good sign to me. So I highly recommend, if you're in Kanazawa and you want to buy pottery, you go here. The gentleman here spoke very good English, like really good English. And he gave me, so while they were wrapping the things that I bought, he gave me a tour of the kiln. It was a very cool little experience. Very glad I went to there. If you are in Kanazawa, you want pottery, this is where I would recommend. Katani Kosen Kiln. Very good. The guy spoke great English. He had very good pieces. Highly recommend. I think they do like a pottery class too for people. But yeah, it, again, really cool stuff. Yeah, pottery books. So they do have like the ability to have you come and make pottery, but I didn't do that. I just wanted to get pottery. So if you're in Kanazawa, you want pottery, this is where you go. Highly recommend it. They had beautiful stuff. The guy was very knowledgeable, very, very smart. And then I walked from here back to my hotel, and I stopped at St. Nicholas along the way, which is where you saw the pastries from. That was like over here. Like somewhere along this little river. Yeah. I was right. It was a little further south than yeah, it was right. If I were to go to Japan, I'd want a doll as a souvenir. You can get dolls. This is where I got the desserts you guys were freaking out. St. Nicholas. Right, that's. So I walked back from the kiln, which was down here. I walked back across the river, went up here, and then I walked back to my hotel room. I've forgotten the name of the dolls, but my neighbor has one. Hina dolls. So yeah, I just walked back. Worth the walk, worth the effort. That was a good day. I enjoyed walking the back streets of Kanazawa. I enjoyed the treats I had. I enjoyed the pottery I got from my sisters. Highly recommend both the kiln and St. Very much. But with that, we're gonna talk about Tokyo. Oh no, we're gonna open up Kanazawa. So I guess we can start here. This is St. Nicholas. Very good pastries, very delicious. This was Ippudo ramen. This was tonkatsu ramen. They're probably Hina dolls are incredibly expensive, Jan. I looked at them because I was going to get one for my grandfather. Turns out I didn't need to worry about it because he passed away. But I looked at the price and they're very expensive. Ippudo ramen. It was at the train station in Kanazawa. Tonkatsu ramen. This was very good. Whatever this was very spicy. I had as you can see, I kind of ripped a little bit off. I tried it. I can't stay. Thanks a lot for it. Good night, Effecto. Get some rest. And I hope that everything works out. Make sure you don't be afraid of confrontation. It's better for you. Genuinely. This was very spicy. Better buy a plastic figurine then. They're very reasonable. If you like spicy, if you get this, go for it. I tried a little bit and I didn't want any more. Also, I had ramen 3 times. I ordered gyoza 3 times. The gyoza always tasted the same. So if you have gyoza once, you've had it every ramen chain. I don't know if they get it from the same place. I don't know if it's like a pre-made thing. I don't know, but it all tasted the same to me. It was good, but the 3 different places I had gyoza, they all tasted the same. However, the ramen tasted very different. This is tonkatsu, pork bone broth, very good. This was very good ramen. I recommend Ippudo. You can find, it's a chain. You can find it in a lot of places. I just had it in. This was a bakery in Kanazawa. This was a peanut butter donut. It was massive. It was tasty. Don't know that I would order it again. These were weird. Am I going too fast in this stuff? Like, do you guys have enough time to sort of like react? Maybe I can like slow down a little bit and like let you guys. I feel like I'm going too fast. Yes. So this, well, it was a donut and the frosting was peanut butter. It was a good donut. You're slow. No, you're fine. I'm going really fast. I should slow down. These were like, I don't know what they were, but they were fried. They were like crispy on the outside and they were chewy on the inside. I bought a bag of 3 of them. I ate them. Wouldn't get them again. Not the best. Not the best. I don't know what they were made of. I don't know if it was like mochi or something like that, but it was very chewy. Didn't really taste like much. Not phenomenal. But I got the peanut butter donut, this, and then this at the same place. This was like they looked dry. They weren't dry so much as they were just like, they just didn't taste like anything. They just didn't really have much in the way of flavor. So like, it's hard for me to like recommend. It's hard for me to like say, hey, if you like this, you can have this, because they didn't really taste like that. But like they were fine, just didn't taste like that. This was pretty good though. This was a like Sakura croissant thing. This is pretty solid. I got this, and these all at the same bakery. So this was pretty good. I'd recommend this. Like the flour. Yes, like the flour. They put, during that season, they put Sakura in everything. Also, by the way, if you're wondering, just for reference, my hand is 4 inches across. So this is like a 5-inch donut. This was a massive donut. Just so you're aware. This would probably do for most of you, unless you're walking as much as I was. Inches and feet. I don't know how much 4 inches. 10.16 centimeters. That would be a fair assumption, Jan. That would be a very fair assumption. Yeah, pretty solid choices. So big donut, very big donut. It's a very good donut. This was my breakfast the next day. It was apple. And it was some sort of like, it was a bread. It wasn't like a croissant or anything. It was just a roll. This was really good. This is really good. I have a hard time turning down like apple stuff. Apple is like my favorite fruit. So if I see something and it's a pastry with apple, I like kind of have to buy it. So yeah, this was really good. This was walking along the outer wall of Kenroku Garden. It's a very pretty, just gorgeous. This was when I was exploring for pottery. Need a full meal, man. I ate a lot. This is the picture I sent to my sister. Oh, these were the gates of the Kanazawa train station. They're meant to look like the drums. I forget what they're called. I've heard the name. Starts with a T, I think. They're meant to sort of look like that. These are kind of famous. There was a bunch of people here taking pictures around them. Taiko? It might be Taiko. No. No, it's not the round ones. Designed with a custom umbrella. There. Zoomy drum. Told you it started with a P. It's supposed to kind of look like those. And you can see the similarity. Right? They're supposed to look like Suzumi drums. There was a lot of people taking pictures around there. This was on my way back from the Pottery St. Nicholas trip. I was very tired, but I still snapped a couple of pictures because it was cool. I also went to a street market, or Omichi Market, specifically. Why do I always goof up? Stuff. So right off of, it was like right up here or something. Here, right here. Omichi Market. I went and explored here a little bit, and bought a couple of souvenirs for my nephew, and I bought some fruit. The strawberries were phenomenal. This pack of strawberries was like 600 yen. They were some of the best strawberries. The grapes were not phenomenal, and the apple was interesting. The apple was like a, you know how like some apples are really crisp? Mila, welcome in. And others are like kind of soft and mealy. That was a mealy apple, but the taste was amazing. That was a really good apple. If you're in Japan, get the strawberries, try the apples. These grapes. These just tasted like mediocre super. These were. Welcome in, Mila. How's it going? Oh no, I don't like soft apples either. I ate this whole thing. It tasted that good. Like it was a good apple. It was a good apple. The crunchy sweet, that is true. Those are the most strawberry looking strawberries I've ever seen in my life. They were very good. Very good. You have officially talked to me today more than Melly. I don't know what I've done to anger Melly, but she doesn't talk to me. Makes me sad. But yes, the fruit was very good. Very good. Had Yoshinoya. I think that might have been the first time I had it. I'm not sure. But again, had it 3 times. This I bought at a confectioner in the train station. This was not good. It was some kind of cheesecake. I didn't care for this. It was sort of like, I don't know if it was like matcha flavored. Green onion. Yes, there's a pile of. Now you're hungry. You should be hungry. You got to go to Japan to get some of this. This was awesome. Again, see, I'm going too fast. I slow down. I have to slow down. This, I don't know if it was matcha. This was like weirdly bitter. This slapped a sponge in there. It was weird. And they gave you a wonderfully tiny spoon to eat it with. This was whipped cream. This was some sort of like cheesecake. And this was like a custard thing. This was not great. This was not. And then having to eat it with this was an interesting experience. So I ate it, but oh, I remember now. Because yeah, Yoshino, this was like in the train station. And it was just like an open air one. It wasn't in its own building. and I ate this, and then when I left, this little pastry shop was right next to it, so I bought that. I remember. That was the first time I had very good stuff. Very. Luxury that you got a plastic. That's true. I am happy I didn't have to like just shove it all in my face, but still, I feel like for the price, which I think was like 600 yen, this was not a cheap dessert at all. Like if I go back, this was like 300. This is really good. And this was like 500 or 600 yen. This was not really good. So, you know, different stuff. This was, I keep getting wooden spoons and it just ruins the food. I got wooden spoons on the plane ride there, and I preferred those to that spoon. How many pictures do I have? Oh, I don't have very many. That's fine. We can finish up a little. We can finish up. Oh, wait, no. Maybe it might be the texture thing. That can really throw you. Okay, so this was my bento on my way from Kanazawa back to Tokyo. I bought the beef gyudon from a grocery store because I really liked the Yoshinoya gyudon. This was not nearly as good. This was way too sweet. The other one was very savory. This was almost sweet. Didn't like it. I bought mochi again. Didn't care for it. So I tried mochi a bunch. Didn't care for it. This was way better than my other Ekiben. If you can go to a grocery store and buy your bentos there for the train, don't buy them at the train station. This was way better than the one I bought at the train station, but it still wasn't very good. Just so you're aware. This was on the train ride back. This is from the train station to my hotel. This is a very pretty street. I was very happy when I got back to Tokyo and the cherry blossoms were basically as sore as my feet were walking to my hotel. This was very, very enjoyable walk. Highly recommend. Get to sleep, get some rest, yeah. I'm getting close to done here. I don't have that many images left, and I'm very tired, so I want to go to bed. So we're gonna switch back to. We'll actually go through this. We'll go through this. Got an appointment with a physical therapist, and I'm scared. Don't be scared. Physical therapy is good for you. It's hard, but anything worth doing is hard. So the walk back was very pretty. I got sushi in Japan, or in Tokyo, for the first time. Heck yeah. I didn't hate it, but I'm not in a rush to have it again. Now, I got this at a fish market. I didn't get it from a restaurant. Maybe restaurant sushi is better. I don't know. This was fine. It tasted fine. But I'm not in a hurry to have it again. Welcome back, Knight. How's it going? I just hope it's not anything bad, you know? It'll be fine. Again, life has a way of working. So yeah. I recommend, I mean, if you've never had sushi, I had never had sushi. I recommend trying it. This is not something that I am eager to have again, but I didn't hate it. I'm good. How is you? Hi, Jan. I am well. So while I was in Tokyo, I was looking for stuff to do, and I found out that an anime convention was going on known as Anime Japan, which is one of the largest anime conventions in Japan. I looked up the ticket prices, and the ticket price was like 12 bucks. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to an anime. Need some ice cream? Get some ice cream, my dude. So I went to an anime convention. Along the way, I saw Car Meet. Don't die of surprise. Not yet. I saw Car Meet going on. That was pretty cool. Food was food. Chips tasted better. Chips are good. I saw a little car meetup. Took a few pictures out of the train. So this was a very large parking. Jay had a car for the meet. I did not. Kawhi, welcome in, man. How's it going? Been a long time. Oh, you didn't go to, I didn't go to the car show. I went to the anime convention. I went past the car show, but one of the things I did see was a Pac-Man car, which made me happy. I thought that was good. You went to both? That's up to you. Did you cosplay? I did. I cosplayed my character. I wore a white shirt. I had a beard and red hair. I looked just like my character. Nobody recognized me. Can you believe it? Can you believe how crazy it was? They didn't recognize J.C. Stevenson. Oh well. This was not the line to get in. This was just into the building. These were the lines to get in. The C stands for recognize. How did I get my way around? I took trains and I walked. These were the lines to get in. This was me in line. A 6-foot lumberjack with orange hair and a beard. I'd recognize instantly, and if I'm wrong, I'll be ashamed. There was I saw a couple of people who were taller than me. They were all foreigners. But I saw, other than that, I saw nobody my height. And I saw only a couple of people with my color. Gia, you're back. Welcome back. I'm talking about Anime Japan. A anime convention in Tokyo that I went to. These are the lines. Now, it's not actually as bad as it looks. Thank you. You're very welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming. I took a couple. We'll get there. This isn't as bad as it looks. This is actually 3 lines all going the same direction. The people farthest over this way were the ones who bought the expensive premium tickets. And then the next group, like right in here, are the people who bought the early bird tickets. And then the next people are like the general admission. You can't see it. There were dividers. 3 sections. There were dividers in here. You just can't see them because the people are. But I did get in. I actually didn't wait that long. I got there at like 9:30, 9:20 ish, and I was in there by about 10. So I walked in. I'll be back soon. Have fun, G. Not so bad. No, not bad at all. It really wasn't my scene. It was much more of like an advertising thing than it was like a fan thing. I did get to see Goku and I beat him up too. They looked at me funny. Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, that was at the Square Enix booth. I bought something there, which you'll see here shortly. They had a lot of merch for sale, but a lot of it was plastic. The Square Enix booth had the only thing I saw that was worth buying. There's the wristband you got, and my big old hairy hand. Merch. A big old grizzly bear hand. I thought it was pretty cool. It was cool to go. But it really wasn't my scene. Gotta go. See you, Night. Thanks for swinging through, dude. I got to join an adventuring party for a little bit. I always go overboard though. I never. I don't go overboard that much. I don't like to spend money, so I generally don't. But as you can see, I got to join an adventure party. Wow. Did I get? I did not take any pictures. This was the food I had at the convention. I will get to the cosplay section in a little bit. This was on the outside cosplay grounds. I'll talk about it here in a minute. But I'm gonna get myself through all of my phone pictures. This was very good. It was some sort of fried noodles with an egg. It was very good. I really enjoyed this. I don't know what the seasoning was, but this was just tasty. Just really looks. Yeah, I thought it was yakisoba of some kind. I almost went back and bought another one because it was that good, but I didn't do that. Instead, I went and bought something else, which you'll see in a minute. But this was surprisingly delicious. I very much enjoyed this. So yeah. I then went and bought a crepe. Technically, it was a waffle, but it was really good. Whipped cream, banana, chocolate in a waffle. I thought it was ice cream when I saw it, and I was a little disappointed that it was just whipped cream, but it was still pretty good. It was pretty solid. It was a good dessert. And then after that, I purchased a peach soda. The peach syrup was at the bottom. You had to mix it up yourself, but it was pretty good. It had chunks of real peach in it. How is the chocolate compared to the US? Okay, so there is not a lot that is sweet in Japan. Like, a lot of this chocolate was not like milk chocolate in America. It also wasn't dark chocolate. It was just, it just, nothing tasted as sweet there. There were things that were sweet, but most things had far less sugar in them than I was used to. And that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. But some of the stuff that you would genuinely expect to be sweet wasn't. Like this was sweet, but it wasn't like, if you had this in America, it would be a sugar bomb. Here, it was kind of like a little bit of sugar. It was good. Like, I really enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy this as much as this, but it was good. This was also very good too. I didn't want to order another one of these. I kind of wanted to order another one. This was really good. I saw Totoro. Could I recreate it? Could I recreate what? The peach soda? Maybe. Or the yakisoba? Maybe. I own a flat top. the drink, I might be able to. I'd have to find peach syrup. Honestly, what I want again, I'm gonna close this. What I really want again is this. I don't know what this was for the life of me. It was some kind of like milk with fruit in it. This was phenomenal. I drank like 2 of these a day. It was so good. This I just miss. This was great. This was amazing. If you go to Japan, go to 7-Eleven, get yourself one of these. It was really good. Highly recommend. So this was the entrance to the cosplay grounds. Where was Totoro? Here, Totoro. Totoro was directly to my left here. Totoro stood right at the entrance. And then if you walked past, I did take a couple of pictures of cosplayers, but I'm not exactly comfortable sharing those, as some of them have some upskirt shots as the way they were posing. So I'm not going to show those on stream. PG-13. You want to see that stuff yourself, you got to go to Anime Japan 2027. Good luck. There were a lot of cosplayers. This area was kind of lined with them, and they were kind of floating around. This area on the left, too, was full of cosplayers. Lewd, I didn't see a lot of, like, big booba ones, but there were a lot of women who were wearing very short skirts and posing with their legs open. So I didn't wait in any of these lines. But my camera has a very good zoom, so I got a couple of pictures, which I thought was of cosplays that I thought were like pretty good, but I'm not exactly comfortable showing them, so I'm not. You do not sound. Wait, you don't need sound for this. This is, again, I took an accidental video. To be fair, I also stand and pose like that, and you should. This is what I bought my brother. This was from the Square Enix booth. This is a pocket watch. It is a functional pocket watch. It is metal. It was literally the only like really cool merch that I saw, and I bought one for my brother. I thought it was a Full Metal Alchemist watch at first. No, it's not Final Fantasy VIII. I want one just for the flex. The watch? I wanted to buy one for myself, but it was actually kind of expensive and I couldn't afford two. I didn't have that much money on me. So I got one for my brother. What other game has pocket watches? Well, it was an anime convention, not a video game. What happened to my thumb? I talked about that last stream. I might have fallen off a bike in Kyoto. I thought it was Full Metal Alchemist. It wasn't. It was some other anime. I forget what it was, but it's still a cool watch. They're grim. It might have been. I forget. It said what it was. I forgot the anime. It's still a cool watch. So I got it for my brother. This was going back. This is in a train station. Although we can stay on the watch. Yeah, I fell off a bike 50. I think it might be. I don't know. But this was a train station leaving Anime Japan. I bought mochi again. This was the best mochi I had. Still not good. Yeah, I'm not a fan of mochi. After this, I was like, I don't need it. But again, strawberries are very good. So yeah. Images. Okay, we're gonna stop. We're gonna finish up my chat. What Jay is trying to say is he has strawberry mochi emotes. I do. That's what I've commissioned Lily already for them. He's making them as we speak. He's not allowed to leave his computer until they're finished. This was a very cool shrine. This is off the street of Tokyo. You walked up these steps and you were greeted with this. You walked into the courtyard and you were greeted with this. This is a very cool. I forget the name off the top of my head. I know it. I bought Siren a charm here that is on its way to her as we speak. I know the name. I have it written down, but this is a very cool little shrine. Very pretty. And while I was here, I'm pretty sure I saw a wedding. So we're going to catch up on my phone camera. You can see how cut up my hand was here. Well, 50. This was Shoyu Ramen from a little place a couple blocks from my hotel. Very good. I had gyoza here too. I just didn't have them in the picture. And again, all the gyoza I had tasted the same. So if you have gyoza one ramen place, you've had it at every. Because I went to 3 different chains and the gyoza all tasted. But I do recommend the ramen. The ramen was very good. The tonkatsu ramen from Ippudo was my favorite, but this was also very good. So, highly recommend ramen. Try a bunch of varieties. There's a lot of varieties. Very good stuff. This was an apple cake that was right at the bakery right outside of my hotel. If you remember from the first stream, same place. Again, can't say no to apple. This is the same shrine that I was talking about. I found 4-liter bottles of sake at a convenience store. And I took a picture and sent it to my sister. And I said, hey, I found my brother-in-law's gift. Because I didn't say it last time, I'll say it this time. Jay, thank you guys for sharing it. It's really cool to kind of talk about this stuff and relive it. Let me close this and let me go back to... I recorded a little bit of this. Me. This open photo. Actually, let me close this down just so I only have one photo thing open. Do that. Hold on, because I'd like you to hear the music. Here we go. Can you hear that? So this was a wedding procession. I didn't record the whole thing because I didn't want to be disrespectful, but the bride and the groom were back here, followed by a bunch of people. This was at that shrine that I was showing you pictures of. This was a very cool thing to experience. And they played music the whole time and walked all the way into this door right. It was a very cool thing to experience. Very cool. Very cool. I visited a lot of shrines and I only ever saw the one like wedding ceremony. So not super common, but you can see it. I also got a video of a train. You're in Japan, you got to get a video of a train. This is at Arishiyama though in Tokyo. Where's the Gundams? Didn't see any Gundams. 50. Didn't go to any place with Gundams. Gundams aren't my thing, man. Sorry. But yeah, I sent this to my sister and I said, "Hey, I found your husband's souvenir," and then everybody laughed. Everybody clapped. Then everybody, got up from their table and clapped, celebrated. Hold on. You're over here. So this was at Ueno Park in Tokyo. This was crowded as hell. Very, very pretty, but very, very crowded. I have a hard time recommending going here during cherry blossom season. It was very crowded. And it was very difficult to move around and to like kind of experience it because it was just a wall of, just an absolute wall of humanity, just blocking everything. So yeah, very pretty, very difficult to walk around. Tourist trap. I mean, maybe if because I wasn't here early. I was here kind of later in the day. Maybe if I'd have gotten here in the morning, it wouldn't be so bad. But afternoon, just full of people. This was a shrine I went to off the side, took a picture of a monk who was doing some stuff. And this is Meguro River. Let me go back to here. Do not get the 7-Eleven bentos. I tried it. I had this. I had a curry pan from there. Neither of those were phenomenal. You can do better. Don't learn from my mistake. Don't buy these. This was very, very bland and very, very. You can find better food for the same price. Do not get it. This was in Ueno Park. There was like a festival going on. I bought one of these and I bought one of the bottles that you have to have the bead in it because I wanted to try one. This was a weird cookie. Not gonna lie. It was very crispy and like the bottom underneath was like hard sugar. I don't know how they made it. It was a very weird thing. The flavor was good, but the texture was terrible. So yeah, don't recommend this. This was fine. I don't know if it was like a good one. People going to Japan for 7 is an absolute shit show of an idea. Yeah, don't do that. I ate one because I was tired and wanted to be fast, and I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. You can do better. Trust me. This just tasted like soda. Go to a local convenience store and a local at least. These bottles make me feel like a gerbil. It kind of, yeah. I wanted to try one. This wasn't like the one I was looking for, but it's the only one I found. They're called like a Ramune or something like that. And it was good, but it wasn't like super good. Yep. Ramune. Is that melon? Probably. It was for kids. It had a little fish on it. It was good. Just not super spectacular. More in Ueno Park. Ueno Park. This was in Tokyo proper, going to Itoya, which is a stationery store to buy gifts for people. After that. let's finish up my main camera roll, and then we will go through my phone camera. You know that background? So this is Meguro River. Or do you mean my computer background? Huh? Oh, this isn't Arc Raiders. I've had this background longer than Arc Raiders has been out. This is Pac-Man. You're like teasing me. Big jerk face. Big old jerkity jerk face. Okay. This is Meguro River. It was raining when I went here. Very pretty. Very long walk. I didn't walk the whole thing. It was incredibly beautiful. And apparently all these lanterns get lit up at night, but I was way too tired to stay that late, so I didn't. It was very pretty. Yep. The only castle I saw, that one was probably closed too, or being torn down. It was a very pretty spot. Castle Oblivion right there. I did see a lot of Sora stuff. There was a lot of people walking here too. But it was raining. And then this was Meiji Jingu. So I'm gonna go through this real quick. I have a video of this. It was raining. You could hear the crunch of the gravel. I'm just gonna mute it because I'm not. It was raining. It was very, very pretty. The main shrine of the area was absolutely gorgeous. If you are in Tokyo while it's raining, I highly recommend you go here. ASMR Gravel. I highly recommend you go here because behind me was probably the most beautiful sight I ever saw in Tokyo or in Japan. It was a courtyard. I wasn't allowed to take a picture, or I would have. But it was a courtyard. There were banners blowing in the breeze. There was a mist coming down. It was raining. It was absolutely brilliant. Cannot recommend it enough. If it's raining, go there. Literally the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I saw in Japan. I also ended up stopping some random girl from taking a picture of it because I was up there sort of like looking at it and enjoying it. And then some girl pushes past me and pulls her phone out and lifts it up. And I'm like, hey, it says no pictures. And she looks at me like, what? There's literally a sign right there. It says no pictures. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm like, sure you didn't, lady. And then there's like a guard, walking back and forth through the area with a sign that says no pictures, telling people not to take pictures. And she's standing there with her phone, like waiting. God, that made me mad. Like, it's not, I was not. But, no. If it says don't take pictures, please don't take pictures. Be respectful. And that, I believe, is the end of my camera roll. It's the end of that. I ended with Meiji Jingu. That was the last thing. This was at Yoshinoya as well. This was the chicken yakitori. That what it is? The grilled chicken sticks. The yakitori bowl. This was good. It was not as good as the beef. Eat the beef bowl. Skip this. This was good. Not as good as the beef. Definitely. I'm gonna rush through. I'm getting very. This was what's the I was right next to Sensoji. That was Sensoji. This is Sensoji. I went there early in the morning. It was still very crowded. Very pretty place. I didn't take a lot of pictures. That's a big lantern. It is a very big lantern. I didn't take a lot of pictures here because it was very crowded and I was very tired and I don't like crowds. But this place was incredibly crowded. It was also very pretty. We'll talk about this in a minute. Very pretty architecture, but it was very crowded and very noisy and very busy. I saw a picture of a Denny's and I took it, sent it to my family, and like, finally some real Japanese food. I did not eat at Denny's. I did not. I did not eat at Denny's. I didn't even go in. It made me laugh to see it. And I part of me wanted to, but I had other plans. This was Meguro River. I bought a sandwich and a melon pan from the bakery next to my hotel room. You can see this is when it was raining. This was my lunch. I was going to eat it on the river, but it was raining. So instead I took shelter under a building and then ate this. This was okay. Is that a McFish? It was not a McFish. It was a pork cutlet sandwich, and it was okay. This is actually really good. There was like there was a filling in it, and tonkatsu sando. That's what it was. There was like a filling in this. I don't know what it was, but this was actually a really good like dessert. I enjoyed this. I recommend. And then this is Meiji Jingu again. This is the entrance. The very pretty spot was over here. That's the gate. And then this was at Otoya. I showed this at the start of stream. This is like the last real meal I had in Japan. Tasty, interesting. America not having melon flavored things is genuinely a crime. Yes. Melon was very good. This was good. Again, not a big fan of miso, but the flavors of everything was very good. I ordered a dessert, coffee, custard. Liked the custard, didn't care for the coffee. Way too bitter. Had another beef bowl. What are those revolver-shaped things? Those are lotus root. They were good. I was surprised. It was very good. Like everything on the plate was good. Lotus root are interesting. I liked it. But then again, the sauce was very good with it. So like this was just a solid meal. You could skip this. It's got the texture of a medium rare potato. I like raw potato. I'm a farmer, and one of the things I really like to do is to go out to a garden and dig up a fresh potato and wash it off and just eat it. If you've never had a raw potato out of the garden, you haven't lived. They're delicious. So like the texture of that did not bother me at all. I liked it. I thought it was good. If it doesn't have a crunch, you've overcooked it. Done. Had another beef bowl. This was probably like the last thing I ate. This was so good. If you're in Japan, go to Yoshinoya, get yourself a beef bowl. Just it was so good. Like I said, I had this 3 times. It was so good. I cannot recommend the Yoshinoya beef bowl. Apple tart from the, did you try any whey? I did not try any whey. I don't like fatty meat to begin with, and Wagyu is very fatty. So, I wasn't really interested in trying any Wagyu. I heard that you can get ripped off really easy in Japan too on trying to find it. So, is fatty meat. I knew there was something I liked about you, Sammy. This is also from the bakery right next to my hotel. The bakery right next to my hotel was like top tier. This was really good. Highly recommend this. This is at the bakery a couple blocks down from my hotel. I don't know what it was. I didn't buy it. It was way too much food for me to eat. But I did end up buying like a roll that was smaller that looked like the same. This was an apple roll, I believe, and this was like a chocolate roll. Both of these were phenomenal. You should just move to where I am, considering my state fruit is apple. I love apple. There's a reason I've planted like 5 apple trees around my house. And then we have the pictures of the pottery about myself. And that's about it. That brings me to the end of my vacation. Oh, that was still 2 hours. God dang, I took too many pictures, guys. Lost everybody, all of my viewers. Lily Pad. The Lily Pad 97 show. How's it going, Lily? I just finished up talking about my my vacation. Welcome in, my guy. Welcome, welcome. I got your stuff mailed off too, Lily. For next stream, Jay will be sharing his wedding pictures to his Japanese bride, Himiko/Jessica, and will be moving to Japan at the end. I met no cute Japanese. Guess I'll just have to go back. Let me rephrase. I saw a large number of cute Japanese girls. I just didn't meet any because I'm very intimidated. Guess you'll need to go back and I guess I will. I need to learn more Japanese if I want to meet Japanese girls. But Lily, can you send me that commission and send me the bill so I can get you paid and I can get I can get it done. I need it before Saturday. Just finished my workout, spent all day doing house chores. That is like the roughest day ever. Just doing house chores is so draining. Yes, and I will send it now via email. Wonderful. I will get you paid. If you want to send it, get it sent, and I will get you paid tomorrow. I spent a lot of money today on shipping stuff because international shipping is silly. There's one thing I want to talk about before I end stream. I ordered myself a little console. I ordered myself one of these. Oh, hydrate. I've been hearing some pretty cool things about these. They're basically a dual screen device that runs on Android, and they're basically an emulation machine. And as far as I'm concerned, like the 3DS was like peak handheld gaming. So to have something that mimics that, but also has, sorry, I had people, I need to apologize, Siren. Like, what's this? So I finished up talking about my vacation, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. I ordered myself one of these. I'm in batch 5. I bought a black one. So this is a dual screen Android device that you can use to run emulation on. They come in a bunch of different colors. But as far as I'm concerned, like the 3DS was peak handheld gaming, and this kind of mimics that, and it's basically an Android device that you can run emulation. So I'm buying myself one of these for like traveling and stuff like that, because I've heard really good things. That's one where you can connect it to. I have no idea if you could. I would assume so. It's got a USB port on it, so I would assume you could. Light Pro, I bought a Max. I wanted the 1 terabyte. bought a Max. I bought a Max in black. I also bought the screen protectors and the case thing. Screen protectors. The AYN Thor. I know there's a guy who installs something in 3DS that makes them capture card compatible. I don't remember if he's based in Japan, but one of my best friends has one. I should get info out on him. You probably should. Can it run Pokemon Fire? Yes. So it is an Android device that you can put emulators on. I've been hearing very good things about it. It takes a lot of work to kind of get it started up, but like a lot of the people who have talked about it have said that it is like people have been talking about like, hey, they use this as opposed to their Steam Deck, right? So I pulled the trigger. I'll probably do like a review on it and stuff because, you know, why not? I'm gonna have it. But I got the bigger one for future proofing because you can play Steam on this too. If you get the right software, you can play Steam games. So like I can download my Kingdom Hearts games and play Kingdom Hearts or Stardew Valley. A lot of people have figured out a lot of emulators for it so that you can get all the games you want. So like I can play a bunch of old games and stuff, and I'll have 1 terabyte of storage on it. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm going to get it and goof around with it. I'll probably do a little review on it, talk about it. Because I think this is going to be a very cool piece of hardware. So I see YouTube chat. I'll answer the question. What you see on screen is the iPhone 420 Dual Screen Pro Max Deluxe 2.5D HD Remaster scheduled to release next week, Thursday. No, that's not what you see. Do not buy an iPhone. You need it? Well, the light one's actually pretty affordable. Also, you can find coupon codes. I found a coupon code for $50 off. Because I spent a lot of money. So you can find coupon codes for these. Not exactly hard if you look around. The light one's pretty inexpensive, so if you're just going to play old DS games, that's going to be all you need. I was planning on playing Steam games, so I bought the big boy. But beside the point, I'm excited to have one of these. It's going to take, I think I ordered it when I got home, and it said it takes like 2 months to get. Can it run a 3DS one? Yes. It can also run Switch emulation too. It can also run PS2 and PS3 and Game Boy and GameCube and pretty much any emulation you can run on an Android device, which is any emulator. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. Get it and to kind of goof around with it. But can it run away from my problems? For a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get it. I wanted to kind of chat about it. I'm gonna get one of these. I'm gonna play around with it. I'll see if it's any good. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'm very excited. I don't know whether or not I can do a capture card with it, but I'm gonna get it and play around with it. A little fun. This is probably gonna be my travel buddy for the foreseeable future. So that would be fun. It would be very fun to sort of test it and put it to its limits and find out what it can and can't do. So yeah, I'm in batch 5 pre-order, which doesn't start shipping till May, and I'm probably on the latter half of that, so I'm probably not gonna get it until probably June, probably sometime in June, but it is what it is. Can't complain too much. But yeah, with that, I'm probably gonna end stream. I'm very tired, and I have been up too late. Well, not too late. I've got to fix my sleep schedule. So I'm probably going to end here. I'm then going to go and take a shower and then go to bed. What I'm going to do. Thank you. It was a good stream. I'm happy to get it done with. I will be playing Kingdom Hearts again on Friday. Guys, I haven't played video games in a long time. I'm like irrationally excited to play games. Continue the story? What story? What story am I continuing? Siren, are you still here? Nope. Death got scammed. Sent? Nice. You're here? Okay. I need to talk to you after stream a little bit. I will pay you tomorrow, Lily. All the story. I need 2 more hours of second monitor, please. Just replay the stream, dude. I have to go to bed. Thank you guys so much for hanging out for this. I'm gonna raid out to Inky afterwards. I will be back on Friday with Kingdom Hearts, and then next week will be semi-normal. I'm gonna move things around. Siren has agreed to play Elden Ring with me, so I think we're gonna be doing that on Fridays. I hope. So I might be doing Kingdom Hearts on Tuesdays and then Yik on Wednesdays and then Elden Ring on Fridays with Siren. I don't know if she's going to want to play it multiple Fridays, but not next week Friday we are. So I've got to get the multiplayer mod figured out again, and then we're gonna hit that pretty hard. So I don't know if she wants to play it multiple Fridays. Hopefully she does. Elden Ring is very fun, and I think she'll enjoy it. But good night, Lily. Thank you so much for the commission, man. I'll get you paid. Money is on the way. Check is in the mail. You'll get her. But with that being said, I'm gonna call it, guys. Thank you very much for listening to me yap for like 5 hours about this. Later, 50. Good to see you, man. Thank you for listening to me yap about this for 5 hours. It was a very fun trip. I really enjoyed it. It was really cool to sort of relive it and share it with you guys. I am sorry I didn't get to do the snack stream, but it just didn't work. No, thank you guys for sharing it with me. We'll end the poll on YouTube. 9 votes. Yes, 1. It is a poll. Good to know. We are going to raid out to Inky since she is live. Who's live? Inky, Jarl. Yeah, we're going to raid out to Inky. And I will be back on Friday with Kingdom Hearts 2. We'll continue that, and then I will be back to normal scheduling next week after. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have yourself a wonderful evening. I will see you on Friday. And as always, I am Jay, and you are adorable. Thank you, everybody. Good night now.